Can you all remain standing for a moment of silent prayer and meditation? Thank you very much. You may all be seated. Good morning, colleagues. May I take this opportunity to greet our Honorable Premier, members of the Executive Council, leaders of political parties, the Chief Whip, members of the Provincial Legislature, the team led by the Secretary, Mrs. Kosana, the people of Gauteng. We are all welcome, including Honorable Mukwebo. We are all welcome. We have received the following apologies. Honorable Bosch, Honorable Nell, Honorable Simang, who can't join the meeting as they are traveling overseas. Honorable Mufama, who is not well. And the other apology is for Honorable Tau. I know that he has joined virtually, but he will be traveling as well. That's why, in terms of the apology, we will receive or will deal with the question from the department. We'll prioritize that one. Thank you very much. Colleagues, in the past week, we received the sad news of the passing on of the former member of the Provincial Legislature and former MEC for Housing and Local Government, Mr. Dan Mofokeng. And on behalf of the Gauteng Provincial Legislature, we send your condolences and thank you very much, Honorable Mazibuko, for actually availing yourself to ensure that he received a dignified funeral, although it was not an official one, but indeed it was a dignified send-off. And the family has thanked the legislature as well as GPG for honoring Mr. Mofokeng. We want to actually say happy birthday to the chair of chairs. Today is her birthday. If she was here, I was going to ask Honorable Masbogo to start a song, a happy birthday song, but unfortunately she's not here right now. I'm here, I'm listening. Yeah, if you were in their house, but we are in the virtual setting. And colleagues, I want to actually wish all those that are not well, especially members, your families, and the people of Gauteng wish you all a speedy recovery. We're aware that, I'm not sure, Honorable Mokgethi, whether the fifth wave has been declared as yet, but I am aware that many people are now getting sick again. So ensure that you take care of yourselves and your families. Those that have not vaccinated, please, as public representatives, let's ensure that everyone vaccinate. But those that have not taken their boosters, please do so. It is a good sign. In fact, when we were in Venezuela, we understood that they were busy with the 2-year-olds already. They are vaccinating 2-year-olds. I think we're still lagging behind as South Africa in terms of vaccination. Please ensure that those that are still in the age that is required, we do so. Thank you very much. In terms of announcement, I think the last one is the issue of the evacuation plan. I think we need to do that in terms of all our sittings. In case of an emergency or on hearing an emergency alarm, please note the following. The Sergeant at Arms, together with service officers, will assist honorable members and visitors to evacuate the house through the nearest exit. And the guests in the auditorium will be assisted by evacuation wardens to evacuate when we have our guests. And the closest exit from the house and auditorium is the red carpet stairs leading out to Resik Street. I'm sure we all know the Resik Street is on my left-hand side, but ensure that you stay calm all the time. Do not panic. Do not use the lifts in that regard. Use the stairs. Our evacuation exit routes for the main building are the Albertina Sisulu Streets, which is just opposite the Resik Street Piazza, down the red carpet, which is our ceremonial entrance, and the Helen Joseph Street, which is just at the back here. And our assembly point when you are requested to evacuate is the Bears Nodi Square. So let's ensure that by all the time we know about this evacuation plan. Thank you very much. In terms of announcement by members, Honorable Nkosi Malubane. Honorable Nkosi Malubane.
Oh, thank you very much, Speaker, for the opportunity. Let me, sorry, ma'am. I would like to offer my sincere condolences to the Kadi family for the loss of their daughter recently. I truly hope that in time they will find healing in the midst of all this chaos. I would also like to take the time to mourn the loss of thousands of our sisters and mothers who have been at the mercy of men that do not value their lives. I need to remind us of the ongoing femicide in the country and how aged women and children require our intervention. 2 years ago, Tsehofatso Pule died after being killed by the partner. Her uncle had the following to say: Tseho is Karabo Mukwena's today. I know how it feels. I know what the family of Karabo went through. Yes, I did my job, but now I know that it feels like for the family. And from this day on, if you come to me and say you have raped, go to hell. You come to me and say you have killed your girlfriend, go to hell. You come to me and say you have molested a child, I don't care, go to hell. This was 2 years after this very man represented the murderer of Karabo Mokoena. 2 years after this man stood in a courtroom with Karabo's friends and families and defended her killer. His words do not mean a thing. All they show is that men value of life is women in proximity with them. It shows that even in death, men center their own interest. Members of this legislature,
Honorable Malbane,
I implore you
Honorable Malbane.
Yes, ma'am.
Your announcement,
your mother,
Honorable Malbane,
sister, daughter,
Honorable Malbane, can you listen to me?
Yes.
Let's make an announcement and not a statement.
Okay. Ma'am, let me close by saying, let men fight for all women, not because it could be your mother, sister, daughter, or mother, but because Singabantu and all lives should matter, and it is our duty to ensure that they do, they are protected. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Honorable Mabala.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Just to indicate that I'm feeling well, I'm not feeling well, so don't be surprised, Madam Speaker. The brutal killing of Hilary Gadi has proven once again that women are not safe and free in this country. A trip to a grocery store ended Hilary's precious life and brighter future. The scourge of gender-based violence has taken many innocent lives over the years and continues to do so. The pure evil act on an innocent young woman whose life was cut short is very painful. Those who are responsible for her death must face the full might of the law. To Godrich Gadi and his family, our thoughts and prayers are with you during this difficult time. May Hilary Gadi's soul rest in eternal peace.
Thank you. In terms of Rule 79, subsection 1, let me first check, is there any other member who wants to make announcement? None. In terms of Rule 79, subsection 1, we know that Honorable Hlophe, MEC Hlophe, wanted to do a MEC statement. Honorable Hlophe.
Thank you, Speaker. Honorable Premier, Honorable Speaker, Chief Whip of the Majority Party, members of the Gauteng Legislature, I rise to inform and remind the House that the month of May is recognized as Africa Month, a time when the continent of Africa commemorates the founding of the Organization of African Unity, the OAU, and the liberation of the great continent from the shackles of colonization. Yesterday, the National Department of Sports, Arts, Culture and Recreation, as led by Minister Untitled Chapter, launched Africa Month in our province at Gallagher Estate under the theme Strengthening Resilience in Nutrition and Food Security on the African Continent, in an event attended by ambassadors representing member countries within the continent, which sought to increase the appreciation and the demand for arts and cultural goods and services, and to stimulate competitive markets for trade among African countries. Further serving as a platform to highlight the need for greater unity and the decisive dealing away with Afrophobia, which remains rooted in the contest for space and resources. Madam Speaker, social inequality and societal fragmentation are major concerns for us, and the relationship between economic factors and societal fragmentation cannot be ignored, as income inequality and/or unemployment cause and aggravate these trends. It is in this regard we thank Premier Makura for signing off the Township Economic Development Bill into an act. As contrary to what naysayers may allege, this act will enable the province to strengthen on its social cohesion efforts as a spin-off, as it will be through the decisive placing of mechanisms to deal with the economic factors that affect the poor and working class within our townships that we may deal and be able to decrease on the conflicts for space and resources they have with their fellow brothers and sisters. Madam Speaker, as part of the Africa Month celebrations, the department has a variety of activities planned spanning across our portfolio of sports, arts, culture and recreation to build social cohesion while celebrating our Africanness. And amongst these will be the launch of our Gauteng consciousness-raising dialogues within our libraries, starting with the topic, our indigenous knowledge systems and the strengthening of our indigenous economy, is a discussion which will be facilitated by Dr. Chilitsi Rachidanga. Through these dialogues, we seek to revive intellectual engagement within the province on a variety of socio-economic topical issues, and to further increase on the number of youth interested in the world of ideas and innovation, so they may shape the future they want, as through these intergenerational discussions, they will be afforded an opportunity to engage and challenge the province's think tanks. We invite members of this August House to equally participate. As we celebrate this month, Madam Speaker, may it remind us of who we are and the potential this great continent has. I thank you, and a happy Africa Month to all.
Thank you, Honorable Hlophe. In terms of Rule 81, subsection 1, member statement, Honorable Khatebe.
Speaker, I rise on behalf of the economic freedom fighters to bring attention to and for the House to note the deplorable and overcrowded conditions at Dan Farasi Primary School in Davidton and Mayfield Primary School in Benoni. Learners at Mayfield Primary in Ward 96 are perpetually denied their rights to equality education, in equality learning and teaching environment, while undertaking unannounced oversight visit. It came as expected disappointment to find that indeed learners in grade 7 are being forced to share chairs and tables in overcrowded classroom of 75 learners. Many learners can be found sitting on tables, the floor throughout the day because of the department that refused to provide basic resources every child deserves. The parents decided that they will go and buy black plastic chairs and donate to the schools. Madam Speaker, I put it to you that this department do not consider education as a priority in society. This is evident that this department continuously to fail at providing basic education adequate infrastructure, as in the case of Dan Farasi Primary School, that it is built on a wetland that floods the classroom when it rains. With this in mind, the EFF calls on the MEC of the Gauteng Education Department to prioritize immediate, relevant, coordinated and effective support to both Mayfield Primary and Dan Farasi with immediate effect. Thank you, Speaker.
Honorable Hoffman.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Am I audible? Madam Speaker, am I audible? Madam Speaker, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, our economy is destabilizing. Gangs and syndicates are becoming stronger by the day. The rule of law and the institutions established to protect us are imploding. Voorsitter, die erns van misdaad en die bendeontwikkeling in Gauteng word onderskat. As ons kyk na transitoerowe, zama-zamas, kabeldiefstalnetwerke en dwelmhandel, is dit duidelik dat daar groepe misdadigers saamsmee om hierdie misdade uit te voer. Die SAPD het ongelukkig net nie die toerusting, mannekrag, bevoegdheid of die wil om die misdaad te bekamp nie. Voorsitter, ons sien toenemend meer SAPD-lede wat betrokke is by die verhuuring van en verkoop van vuurwapens en ammunisie. Madam Speaker, as we sit here, our air wing is not utilized optimally, nor is our task force special operations units used to its full potential. We need urgent intervention by not only Gauteng but national government to depoliticize the SAPS and bring back discipline and effective policing as a matter of urgency. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Randall.
Good morning and thank you, Madam Speaker. Yesterday, the City of Tshwane was announced the winner of the annual Public Sector Innovation League Award, a program powered by Innocentrics. The award program, now in its 8th year, aims to recognize organizations that are adapting using technological advancements to innovate and to better drive their performance outcomes. In the case of City of Tshwane, this has already amounted to improved service delivery. This award affirms the commitment made by Mayor Randall Williams in his State of the City address to build a data-driven city to fast-track service delivery. Opportunities exist to improve service delivery in local government through new technologies and data solutions. Our municipalities need to grab these opportunities with both hands and adapt to the new world. This will be of benefit not only to their own operational efficiencies, but ultimately improve the lives of the residents whom they serve. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Mabunda.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I, Petros Mabunda, herewith serve notice in terms of Rule 81.1 of my intention to make this statement on this sitting today on the appointment of Gauteng Department of Health Head of Department and the Chief Financial Officer. I'd like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the appointment of the Gauteng Department of Health, HOD Dr. Nomonde Loluchunga, and Chief Financial Officer, Ms. Rato Madio. Dr. Noluchungu brings with her a massive experience as she has worked in the public health care system, both at provincial and national level. She's also renowned for her experience in public health policy development and program design. Prior to this appointment, she worked as a minister's counselor for health in Washington District of Columbia in the US, managing and leading South African diplomacy on global health with US government, together with its agencies and academic institutions, amongst others. Furthermore, she worked as a chief director and cluster manager for HIV, AIDS, and STIs at the National Department of Health, leading and managing national response to HIV, AIDS, TB, and STIs. She also worked as a technical advisor and manager in the Gauteng Department of Health. Madam Speaker, it is important to note that both the HOD and CFO have passed all their vetting requirements. This gives us hope that indeed we have recruited senior officials that are ethical, competent, and with integrity. We would like to thank the MEC of Health for exercising executive authority duties to ensure that we recruit highly skilled officials with relevant experience to assist the department to continue providing quality healthcare service. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Kanyane.
Comrade Speaker, allow me to take up this opportunity to share valuable information on the recent study tour undertaken by my office to the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. Inevitably, the purpose was to learn, to share, and benchmark with someone Bolivar ideology, and then also with particular reference to public participation and corporate governance. But the visit also was underpinned by historic ties of solidarity between two countries. Venezuela remains a strategic partner of South Africa in Latin America, especially under the context of South-to-South cooperation, and again celebrating the life and times of Commander Hugo Chavez. Now, the delegation comprised of revolutionaries. That's the Comrade Speaker, Comrade Chief Whip of the ruling party, Comrade Chairperson of Portfolio Committee of Finance, Comrade Chairperson of Economic Development, and also 3 staff members from the political office. Now, in Venezuela, we met people who are relentless, pedocentric, selfless, with this unremitting perseverance. Now, the struggle in that country is coined by 3 powerful words. One is resistance, renewal, and revolution. Yes, they resisted this imperialist vaccine from Britain and America. And they also defied the EU and also its extended tentacles of WHO. Now, where they are really positing their vaccine, that is Russia, China, and Cuba. Full stop. But now, despite all this blockade and sanctions from America, they were able to build 4 million houses within a short period of time. But now those 4 million houses, they don't go as they are. they also supply each room with a well-furnished furniture in every room, and that is free to the people. Now, despite all this blockade, they were able to build a massive museum. And now that museum
This is a member
is
statement,
built
honorable
under
members.
our icon, Nelson Mandela. Besides all this blockade, their unemployment rate is at 0%. Completely. Despite all this blockade, you need to listen very carefully. They were able to defend their oil from the imperialists, the Americans. Only 1% that they can share for investment. 99% of their oil remains with them. Now, what are we really learning out of this? The people don't compromise their ideology. Now, for this August House, we are really faced with challenges. That is to strengthen both ideological, our activist role as politicians, to make sure that we transform our working class power in a palpable reality. That's the challenge that we're really facing. And I want to urge you, this August House, that let's really support Venezuela against the crisis, the sanctions from America. And again, support us when we really process to have a twin
Thank you,
legislature
honorable member.
also
Thank
in Venezuela.
Thank you.
But on that note, let's stop going to Israel.
Thank you.
Let's stop going to Ukraine. Let's go to our revolutionary countries. Thank you very much.
Honorable
Buenos días. Buenos días.
Honorable Dr.
Buenos días.
Dikgamela.
Buenos días. Buenos días, Arnold.
Good morning.
Honorable Dr. Anna. Honorable Ghana. Honorable members, please, Honorable Dr. Dikgamela.
Good morning, honorable members. Good morning, honorable speaker. Thank you for this opportunity that I will speak on the order by the Special Tribunal for former State Attorney to pay over 4.4 million rand to the Gauteng Department of Health. Madam Speaker, as a member here, I welcome the order by the Special Tribunal stating that the former State Attorney must pay back that money that was fraudulently claimed from maternal medical legal issues pertaining to midwifery in the Department of Health. This report comes after the Special Investigation Unit revealed that between 2016 and 2017 financial year, officials colluded with the intentions to defraud the health department through fraudulent processing of some litigations, creating fictitious and bogus claims. This order is amongst many successful prosecutions the SIU have managed to conduct under the partnership signed in 2018 with the Gauteng provincial government to investigate, establish and expose wrong acts leading to rooting out corruption in the provincial government. This partnership is bearing fruits and we must encourage it to continue doing the excellent job in defense of public funds that are being looted by greedy officials who often connive with business people. Madam Speaker, it is clear that this government is committed to ethical conduct and integrity is expected from its officials. Thus, no amount of corruption will deter it from cleaning up the deep rot happening in the Department of Health. This order equally serves as a warning to those officials who are still involved in corrupt activities that their day is near and that the consequence will be too heavy to bear. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Makubela.
Por ahora, para siempre, Deputy Chair of Chairs and the entire delegation that visited the country of Nicolas Maduro and Hugo Chavez. Por ahora, para siempre. Madam Speaker, not long ago, treason was committed by a meticulous leader of the DA, John Steenhuisen, who traveled to Ukraine on what was termed a fact-finding mission. He has committed treason because the law stipulates that only the president sets foreign policy and no other person. I'm still shocked that South African authorities have not acted on this act of treason and undermining our sovereignty as a country. This is a blatant slap. This is a blatant slap on the face of many South Africans, particularly those in the Western Cape where the DA is governing.
How about state
If Mr. Steenhuisen wants a fact-finding mission, he should start in his own backyard and maybe perhaps engage the utterances of Shackleton when he left the DA and labeled it a group of a racist party which is aimed at protecting one race. In 2021 alone, the city of Cape Town recorded more than 2,200 fires in informal settlements where African peoples are. There was no such fact-finding mission from the meticulous leader of the DA. We have never heard of him interested in finding out the impact of the fires on the people of Joe Slovo in informal settlements in Langa, the people of Europe informal settlement in Nyanga, or the people of Side B in Kaelicha. There was never such a fact-finding mission when all these things occurred. Of course, a meticulous leader will not understand the historic ties between our country, our nation, and our people with the people of Russia and the Battle of Kutakwanavala, where the doors of our freedom were open. The actions of Stop speaking with your other own.
Honorable members, you are disrupting.
Stop speaking with your other own. Madam Speaker, can I be protected? Can I be protected from this racist?
Whoa. Before you finish, Honorable Diakha, can you withdraw the statement that you just said now?
No, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Honorable members, please don't collapse this house. Honorable Diakha, we are not going to use the word "you fool" in the house.
It's these ones who are led by an educationless leader.
I want it to be recorded. Can you switch on and withdraw that statement? Not in this house. Not in my presence.
Under Mr. Zuma.
I withdraw. The man is just disillusioned.
No, but you don't say "you fool" to a person. Not in the house. It's unparliamentary. Please.
That's what they are used to, these ones. That is what.
Honorable Makubela, I think you have a few seconds to wind up.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. The actions of Steenhuisen indicate that the Democratic Alliance has no interest in putting the needs of the poor first in South Africa. If his intentions were pure and genuine, wouldn't he have done the same for the victims of KwaZulu-Natal, where just recently now? There was no such fact-finding mission from the DA when that happened. It is opportunistic and politically immature for a leader of the opposition to play into the gallery by exploiting the suffering of the people of Ukraine. While we do not condone any war, we equally do not agree with the political gimmicks that seek to portray what is happening there in Ukraine as if the DA cares. This is the same person who applauded the massacre of black people in Phoenix. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
In terms of Rule 120, I think the first one was the request by Honorable Tauda to start with the question. I think I'm not even going to bring it to the House because we have rearranged that that question be asked first. But I would like to call upon Honorable Chief Whip Khumalo to present a motion without notice.
They can't even do a fact-finding mission on potholes in Tshwane.
Thank you very much, Comrade Speaker. Comrade Leseho, one gentleman we spoke to in Venezuela said part of the problem why you have people like Steenhuisen is that we never whipped them. We left them. I, Comrade M. Khumalo, Chief Whip, hereby tables the following motion in terms of Rule 121, read together with Rule 122 as follows. Noting that the Community Safety Committee, together with Committee on Scrutiny of Subordinate Legislation Committee report on the Gauteng Community Safety Oversight Bill, are not ready to table at this sitting of today, the 10th of May. Further noting that the committee requires more time to analyze all stakeholders' submissions and engage on the schedule of amendment to be able to formulate its opinion on the bill, therefore request the House to resolve to remove the Community Safety Committee together with Committee on Scrutiny of Subordinate Legislation on reports on the Gauteng Community Safety Oversight Bill to be tabled at a later sitting. I so move, Madam Comrade Speaker.
Any seconder to the report?
I rise to second, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you very much. I now put a question. All those in favour say yes.
Yes.
All not in favour say no. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted by the House. No, it's fine. It's not a train smash. Yeah. Okay.
The next one, Madam Speaker, it's I, Comrade M. Khumalo, Chief Whip, hereby table the following motion in terms of Rule 121, read together with Rule 122 as follows. Noting that
your mic is not.
Hey. I, Comrade M. Khumalo, Chief Whip, hereby tables the following motion in terms of Rule 121, read together with Rule 122 as follows. Noting that Comrade T. Motara is on extended leave, further noting that the requirement of Rule 325 of the standing rules require that any member who is absent on the leave for 30 or more consecutive days be granted permission by the House, and therefore request that the House resolve to approve Comrade T. Motara's extended leave. I so move. Thank you, Comrade Speaker.
Any seconder?
I rise to second.
I second, Madam Speaker. Paul Malema. Thank you.
Okay, that. I now put a question. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All not in favor say no. The motion is adopted by the House. That concludes member statement. We're now going to deal with questions for oral reply to the executive in terms of Rule 134, starting with the question by Honourable Nsekhe to MEC for Economic Development, Environment, Agriculture and Rural Development. Honourable Nsekhe.
Honorable Speaker, thank you. But the questions I have are, let me start. According to the National Liquor Act, provinces must provide a list of all licenses issued per quarter. They must be on the database that is accessible to the public where they can check registration. With that in mind, can the MEC please indicate the following? What is the URL where one can access database for Tembisa? How many registrations were made from March 2021 to end 2022 for Tembisa? When was the latest registration updated on the site with Tembisa applications? And is the department's website open to the public as the National Liquor Act? Thank you, Speaker.
Honorable Tau.
Thank you very much, Speaker, and good day to honorable members. The Gauteng Liquor Board is implementing the Gauteng Liquor Act number 2 of 2003. And in terms of this act, there is no requirement to publish licenses issued. Hence, there is no URL for us to access database for Tembisa or any other location in the province. With regards to the second question, 17 licenses were issued between March 2021 and February 2022 in Tembisa. With regard to the third question, as indicated, we do not have a URL as we are implementing the Gauteng Liquor Act of 2003, which does not make provision for that. And regarding the last question, the Gauteng Liquor Board website is hosted by the Department of Economic Development, and it is accessible to the public. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Honorable Ntsakhe, do you have a supplementary question or short remark?
Yes, Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. I think I appreciate the information from the MEC. However, I think it would make sense if the URL is shared with the Gauteng at the level where communities can access it, if it's accessible. If you remember previous questions, I noted the fact that there's a concern, even made by the Minister Beki Cele, that alcohol is contributing to crime in the Tembisa community. Thank you very much.
Honorable Tau, any comments?
Thanks once again, Speaker. As indicated, there is no legislative requirement to keep a URL. So I'll note the proposal by Honorable Ntsakhe and consider that in discussions with the Liquor Board. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next question, Honorable Bloom to MEC for Health.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Regarding thefts from the Schadenmaker Johannesburg Hospital, the MEC please indicate 1, what items have been stolen from the hospital since 1 January this year? 2, what is the estimated value of each item in one above? 3, what is the estimated total value of all the items stolen? 4, how is it possible for any large machines to be stolen without being caught? And 5, what accountability and/or sanctions have been implemented against the security company at this hospital? Thank you.
Honorable MEC.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Greetings to all honorable members of this August House. Thank you, Honorable Bloom, for the question. Response to question 1, 5 electrical distribution boards were vandalized, wires were forcefully ripped from the boards, 9 circuit breakers were stolen, 12 earth leakages were stolen, electrical power cables of approximately 250 meters in length. Response to question 2, circuit breakers, 30 amps at the cost of 6,000 rands, earth leakages at the cost of 16,800, electrical power cables at the cost of 64,420. Response to question 3, the estimated total cost is 87,220. Response to question 4, there's no large machine that was stolen. However, a CT scan computer CPU was vandalized. A case was opened with SAPS on the 10th of March 2022, case number 28704-2022. The damage to the CT scan is at the value of 118,500 472.59. Response to question 5, the theft and the vandalism occurred in the construction site. The contractor is responsible for securing the construction site, and therefore no sanction could be instituted against the security company because the security company is responsible for securing the site. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Any supplementary question or short remark, Honorable Bloom?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The value is not that high. It's 87,000 Rand, but it's been extremely disruptive to the hospital. This is the main reason why the accident emergency unit wasn't able to open on time. And I'd appreciate the MEC explaining that security was the responsibility of the contractor, but surely the hospital security is spending about 40 million Rand a year, and surely they have some role to play. Exit, entrance and exit monitoring. I just don't understand how the hospital security itself can't be held accountable in some way for activity happening on the hospital. Thank you.
Any comments, Honorable MEC?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Yes, I note the comments from Honorable Bloom, and maybe just to allay the anxiety of Honorable Bloom that there will be consequences that will be taken against the security company that is employed by the hospital. Thank you very much.
Next question again, Honorable Bloom to MEC for Health.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Regarding the departure of Dr. Sebengile Zungu as the acting head of health, will the MEC please indicate what were the terms of her appointment, including period to be served? Why did she leave? Did she resign or was she terminated? How much was paid to her in rands and cents for the leaving package? What effect does this have on the department?
Honorable MEC.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you very much, Honorable Bloom, for the questions. Response to question 1. Dr. Zungu was seconded from the National Department of Health for a period 1st July 2021 to 30 June 2022. Response to question 2. Dr. Zungu resigned from her primary employment at the National Department of Health as of the 31st of March 2022, which then makes it impossible for the continuation of her secondment at the Gauteng Department of Health. Response to question 3, Dr. Zungu voluntarily resigned. The resignation letter will be attached on the responses to Honorable Bloom for ease reference. Response to question 4, her payment on exit will depend on the nature of her employment contract with the primary employer, which is the National Department of Health. Response to question 5, there was no effect as the process of appointment of the new head of the department was already in motion, wherein the new HOD, Dr. Nomonde Noluchungu, was appointed with effect from the 22nd of April 2022. Dr. Noluchungu is a competent individual who is conversant of the business of the department, since she was previously employed at the department as a senior management level. Therefore, her integration was seamless. An acting HOD was appointed from the beginning of April 2022 until 21st of April 2022 to see through the administration of the department. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Any supplementary question or short remark, Honorable Bloom?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Yes, I asked this question before it became known that a new head of department had been appointed, which I'm very pleased about. We desperately need permanent people in the top positions, including the Chief Financial Officer. But it was of concern that the acting head of department had left without explanation to staff and others at the end of March. But now we have a new head of department. If I could just follow up with the Honourable MEC, the Chief Financial Officer position, that's another key position that needs to be filled. What progress is there with that position? Thank you.
Honourable Bloom, you know that in terms of supplementary question, you'd either do the short remark, you don't do both at the same time. Honorable Mukherjee, you have a prerogative as to what you want to respond on.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. If Honorable Bloom was listening, Honorable Mabunda, in her member statement, he did indicate that we have appointed the CFO with a positive vetting, with including the HOD. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next question on behalf of Honorable Shabalala, who did not submit an apology. Honorable Ghana will ask a question to MEC for Cocta and Human Settlement.
Thanks very much, Madam Speaker. Further to the question that was previously asked, MEC, last year, regarding the employment of the following political appointments in the Mfuleni municipality, Jabu Kumalo, the manager of the Office of the Mayor, Matsepo Matumbo, the manager of the Office of the Speaker, and Judah Dlamini, the Office of the Chief Whip. Could the MEC please indicate, as you had promised last year, did you conduct the investigation that you committed as per your undertaking to this House? If you did, what were the findings? If you did not do the investigation, what were the impediments in concluding the investigation? Are the aforementioned individuals still employed in the municipality? If so, why are they still in the employ of the municipality when they were appointed irregularly? Thanks very much, Madam Speaker.
Honorable MEC.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. May I please switch off my video because of the network? Speaker, if that's fine. The answer to the first question is that
we've got broadband.
Can you allow the MEC to respond, please?
The answer to the first question is that the MEC has written a letter to the mayor asking him to explain why we shouldn't investigate, and the mayor has responded accordingly. And in his response, and because of his response, we have not had any investigation, because the Mfuleni Local Municipality Council, which said on the 28th of February 2022, resolved that the contracts of the staff in the political offices that were extended before the end of the previous political term of office will be taken on review at the Labour Court, and that process is currently underway. So the municipality is actually acting on that matter. So the reason why we were going to investigate is because there was no, we thought there was no action taken, but now the municipality is taking action. On question 2, you'll refer to the answer in question 1. On question 3, so as stated above, the highest decision-making body of a municipality took a resolution. And I'm sure Member Ghana and Member Chabalala, you will know that in terms of the Constitution, the executive and legislative authority of a municipality rests with council. So they have decided to exercise their authority as a municipality. On question 4, the officials are still employed. On question 5, it's because they have a contract, remember, and that's why the only competent institution that can set those contracts aside or change, it's a court of law. So the municipality is following that process. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Any supplementary question or short remark, Honorable Ghana?
Thanks very much, Madam Speaker, and thanks, MEC, for the response. Just a follow-up. So, to your knowledge, are there other people appointed to the same position, either in an acting capacity or full-time, which in effect will lead to a double payment for the same job? Do you know if there are people who have been employed since the 2021 local government elections to occupy the same positions that these three individuals, that their contracts were irregularly extended to work in those offices? If so, what action are you taking as the MEC of local government in the province? Thanks very much.
Honorable MEC.
Well, I wouldn't know. There's 11 municipalities in Gauteng, so I don't just go around asking mayors who have they appointed. So I wouldn't know. I got this answer from the municipality because I had written to them about a specific matter. So what Member Ghana is raising, it's a new thing. Perhaps he can write a new question so that we can ask them. I always explain that the answers I give are not my answers. I'm just a messenger. These are answers that are coming from the municipality. So I wouldn't know. I don't work in Mfuleni, so I don't know who's employed there. You can ask me about my office in Kokta. I'll explain to you who is there. Thank you very much.
Next question, Honorable Nseche to MEC Community Safety. Honorable Nseche to MEC Community Safety. Honorable Nseche, your question to MEC Community Safety. While they are fixing the network, can you go to the next question? Honorable Badenhorst to MEC for Social Development.
Dankie Speaker, baie dankie vir die geleentheid Speaker. Good morning to everybody. MEC, today marks almost 3 years since the arbitration award was awarded to the nurses. The case number reading as such PSH 771/1617 at the social development offices situated on the first floor, the PAM building, corner Commissioner and Simmons Street, Johannesburg. MEC, please tell the province of Gauteng about the Batupele concept that is being modeled at every government institution, but does not have meaning when it comes to the people of Gauteng. Or is it merely just a slogan? Number 2, MEC, which measures has been taken by you to reimburse and reinstate the 12 staff nurses and the 63 nursing assistants ever since this matter was referred to the Gauteng legislator? And number 3, should these professional nurses wait for another 3 years before they can be reimbursed or reinstated? Thank you, Speaker.
Honorable MEC.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and please, I beg your indulgence that I don't put the video on. Connectivity is a problem where I am. Good morning to honorable members in the House and Thank you very much, Honorable Badenhorst, for the question. Responding to your first question, the Batupele principles are religiously adhered to in social development, and they are accorded the meaning they deserve. However, Honorable Badenhorst, social development is, in terms of legislation, empowered to protect itself against abuse of its processes by members of the public. Responding to your second question, Honorable Badenhorst, the reinstatement or compensation of the affected staff nurses cannot be implemented until the review application has been finalized in the Labour Court. Responding to your third question, Honorable Badenhorst, the latest update on this matter provided by the Office of the State Attorney in Johannesburg is that the matter, which is normally referred to as the file, has been taken for allocation in court. It should be further noted that the court roll is very high due to COVID-19 pandemic. I thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Badenhorst. Any remarks, short remark or a short question? Press once and leave.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, for me it's really funny. I'll make a short remark and don't ask a question. It's very funny, Speaker, this matter has been coming since 2018, 2017 in fact. And it's only now, after me asking the questions here in the House, that they referred this matter to court. It's very funny. Speaker, people are dying of hunger. People don't have work. People go and steal to fill their stomachs. Is this what the ANC government stands for? For not helping the fellow people or the people in Gauteng? Because those people haven't been working ever since. And up till now, if I didn't raise this matter, they would have said, no, it's just a thing. Let it lay still because it's not important. People are a very important factor in South Africa. And if you can't see that the next person is important, then I don't know what are these people doing in social development. Thank you, Speaker.
Honorable MEC, you want to make comments?
Yeah, no, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. For Honorable Badenhorst to want to create an impression that we are an uncaring administration is just unfortunate. And she knows that. It's not the first time that she asked this kind of question. And I explained to her rather, over and over again that we honestly do want to help these people. But there are different spheres of government administration. This thing is with the courts already. We don't have control over the courts. Yes, we want to help them. And I also explained to her, and I think it was in one of the portfolio committee meetings, that we really do care about these nurses and we would want to settle. But we must respect the law. That's the first thing. Second thing, if we violate the law ourselves, they might find themselves in a situation where all of the processes could be reversed. So I'm begging you, Honorable Badenhorst, please do not raise expectations of people by making promises that cannot be kept. We will not be violating the law in this process. It will be followed. We will drive the process where we can, but we are not going to be breaking the law. Thank you very much. MEC, you are very emotional.
Thank you. Next question, Honorable Mukwebo from MEC to MEC Education.
Very emotional. You must learn to be.
Honorable Mabala, we are not allowed to speak.
Emphatic.
Honorable Mukwebo.
I understand the difference.
Thanks, Madam Speaker. With regard to the department's failure to place learners in our schools in 2022 academic year, and parents protesting in our schools in the province, can the MEC respond to the following questions? One, what are the details of the interventions that have been put in place to address these challenges? Two, how many learners have still not been placed in the schools to date? Three, what plans does the department have to prevent future challenges in schools placements? 4, what does the department continue to place learners far from schools in their area? 5, the MEC, can you please respond to this one? How will the department resolve the issues presented by the parents of Afrikaans pupils at the Teresa Park Primary School who have been stunned and taught in places outside the classrooms, such as in storerooms? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable MEC.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Thank you so much, Member Mukwebo, for your question. In terms of question 1, the answer is as follows. In January, the department received a number of late applications. These applicants had not applied at all and only propped up at their offices during the month of January. The parents insisted that their children should be placed in Loli. However, the schools in Loli were already full. Through discussions with the ward councillor, the learners were placed in schools in Ennerdale, and they all accepted placement in Ennerdale. Additional mobile classes were delivered at Oakdale to also create more placement there. All learners, and I want to underline that, Member Mukwebo, all learners were placed in the area, and they are still there learning and attending classes. In terms of question 2, on how many learners still need to be placed, I've indicated when I was answering question 1 that currently there are no learners that have not been placed. All learners have been placed and all learners are attending, and there's never been also a question of absenteeism, which simply means that learners are attending school as allocated, regardless that they applied late and they never made application at the beginning of the year. In terms of question 3, on what plans does the department have to prevent future challenges, we can only respond by urging parents to apply on time, because when we apply on time, we make it easy for us to plan and budget. Planning involves the appointment of new educators, acquisition of furniture and learning material, and also to ensure that the school is capable to accommodate all those learners and thus avoid overcrowding. In terms of question 4, why does the department continue to place learners from far? It's on the basis that Loli and that area is an oversubscribed area, and we've got many people that want to place their children in that area. But the one that made this situation to be more difficult is that these parents only applied in January, or they didn't even apply, they just arrived at our schools in January, and hence we had to make alternative arrangements for them. But to avoid this, we are placing learners according to feeder zones. We are also placing learners using the online registration that assists us to determine which schools have spaces, and we're also encouraging parents to adhere and utilize the feeder zone system to ensure that there's appropriate planning, budgeting, and support. In terms of question 5, in which you claim that there are parents of Afrikaans peoples in Teresa Park who are learning in storeroom, we want to repudiate and reject the statement. All learners at Blair School, Teresa Park, are taught in normal classrooms, including Afrikaans medium learners. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Mukwebo, do we have a supplementary question or a short remark?
Yes, through your speaker, thank you. I think the MEC, we note what you are saying, but disappointed with the fact that the Teresa Park, I did the unannounced visit myself. I found those kids in the outside the room where it is called a storeroom, as it alleged by one of the teachers there. And the classroom is not good for our learners. I wish that you can even comment to the issue of Letswalo siblings who are in Northcliffe High School. I visited them and find them outside that school because of this placement of yours in this province, where you place kids far from the school where they reside. Can you comment on that? Because it is very, very important that our kids can be put in the schools which are closer to them, but your system doesn't allow and doesn't even stipulate the distance. Hence, we get this response from your department when we meet them in the Committee of Education, because I serve in that committee. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Honorable MC.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Thank you so much, Member Mukwebo, for the follow-up question. Reality is that at Teresa, learners are learning in classroom. So if you've got a contrary view to that, I'll appreciate that information so that we can attend to it with the school. This information, we received it from the school, and we also received this information from the district that indicates that learners are learning from their classrooms, not from their storerooms. In terms of the Letswalo case, obviously, you're quite aware that those particular learners or their parents took the department to court, and the matter is currently in court. But I want to clear three important things. The family applied very late, and they were on the waiting list. I think they were number 452, and therefore they wanted to jump the queue and be admitted by staging a sit-in in the school. Our view was that this is a matter that can be facilitated because we placed them at an alternative school. Unfortunately, they didn't want that alternative school, and they insisted that they should be placed at a school where they are on the waiting list, and they were, I think, around number 452. Currently, because they've taken this matter to court, we really feel that let's wait for the outcome of the court, and the court will guide us. But I really appreciate your interest on this matter, Mr. Mkwebo, and I'll keep you posted on the developments of both the court as well as the Teresa Park related matter. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
We are going to advise them appropriately.
Thank you. Can I ask honorable members to continue wearing your masks? I've noticed that many of you, except for Honorable Ramulifo, who had a network problem when he wanted to ask a question. Can I request Honorable Hoffman to ask a question to MEC for community safety?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. With regards to the procedures of issuing and receiving of firearms at municipalities, can the MEC please indicate, 1, may an officer take the firearm that is issued to them to their home? 2, where is that firearm stored when not in use? 3, are there any firearms and ammunition stored at the premises, and is there an adequate safe? And 5, who have access to these safes? Thank you, Madam Chair.
Honorable MEC.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker and Member Hoffman, for the question. In responding to question number 1 on whether officers are allowed to take their firearms home, the response as per municipality is as follows. With EMPD, yes, they are allowed on condition that he has an approved firearm safe installed at his place of residence, and the safe was inspected by the armory. JMPD, an officer can take the firearm home, provided he has completed and deemed competent in the prescripts of firearm training or test, and submitted all necessary documents. That is his or her certified ID copy, copy of fingerprints, proof of residence, fit and proper person affidavits, photographs of the house showing the outside and security measures, as well as the mounted, as per regulation 86 safe, clearly showing the installation and visible raw bolts, minimum 10 millimeter of shaft. SAPS, they indicated that yes, the approved safe inspection form must also be available. Approval by the Chief Armory, and the officers are not permitted to be in possession of a department.
Honorable Masbo, can I request the 2 members, please? Continue, Honorable Masbo.
Approval by the Armory, Chief Armorer, the officers are not permitted to be in possession of a department firearm out of province jurisdiction, and firearms can only be taken outside the province for work-related issues, and only once permission is obtained by the Chief of Police and the Chief Armorer. TMPD, their response was yes, all authorized members are issued with firearms permit in terms of Section 98, subsection 2 of the Firearms Control Act, and which allows them to store their firearms at home. In responding to question number 2, where is that firearm stored when not in use? The response is, at private residences, the firearms must be locked in the approved firearm safe. The EMPD, they are stored in their armory. Members that leave their premises for vacation or illness, etc., must hand their firearms in at the EMPD armory for safekeeping. JMPD, the firearm and ammunition must be stored in the Regulation 86 safe, which is securely mounted as per the Firearms Control Act, number 60 of 2000. TMPD, all authorized members are issued with firearm permits in terms of Section 98, subsection 2 of the Firearms Control Act 2000, which allows them to store their firearms at home. The permit issued must contain the information as prescribed in Regulation 77. That requires that the member must have an SAPS mark-approved firearm safe mounted with rope balls on a brick wall or cement floor at home where he or she resides and not in a shack. Authorized members' firearm safe will be inspected at his or her house residence by the supervisor or nominee accompanied by a witness, and all, including the commander or the head of section, must sign the competency declaration form, which indicates the state of mind of a member, address where the firearm safe is mounted for storage, and the kind of safe where the building is mounted. For those who reside outside boundaries of the city of Tshwane, an outside boundary form must be completed. In responding to question number 3, are there any firearms ammunition stored at premises, and is there any adequate safe? Response from EMPD, private residences, every officer is issued with a firearm and certain amount of ammunition, and it can be kept at his or her place in a safe. JMPD, the firearm must be stored in a regulated 86 safe, which is securely mounted. TMPD, members are responsible to purchase their own choice of firearm safe at their premises, which conforms to SABS standards, and normal safes can store more than 9mm pistol, firearm and ammunition. All Tshwane Metro Police members are issued with 1mm pistol and ammunition for official use, which is stored at his or her place of residence. Thank you very much.
Any supplementary question or a short remark, Honorable Hoffman?
Madam Speaker, no, thank you, Siyabonga, MEC. I really appreciate. Thank you.
Honorable colleagues, the question by Honorable Nseche earlier on, we will ask Honorable Mazbo just to send the response via the table assistance for proper recording, because she had a network problem in inverted commas. I don't want to elaborate further. Colleagues, on behalf of the National Speakers Forum, as the Gauteng Legislature, we committed to work with the KZN Legislature to coordinate donations for the flood victims in KZN. We want to thank those members that are already sending their donations or are already in one way or the other assisting. And we wish to further request that members should actually donate or encourage members of the public to do so, because I know that a number of people were saying they can't travel to KZN. So as the Gauteng Legislature, we committed to actually assist in that regard. But thank you very much for those that are already doing their work to assist those that are in dire need. That concludes the business for the day. Our next meeting will be on Friday, the 20th of May at 10 hours sharp. The House is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, bye.